Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Sergio Cardona, also known as Surge the Barber, and today I'm going to show you guys some pro tips on how to get the perfectly rounded fade where you got one blend not higher than the other. All right, check this out.
Retro.
All right, guys, we're gonna start. Obviously, I already know what he wants to get. My man right here likes to get a 1.5 on top and a nice skin tight fade. Now, we're gonna do his fade a little bit above mid. And this is a little FYI for a lot of the new barbers out there. To try to get a nice even guideline all the way around, use the guy's eyebrows. You see, get on the profile side of his head. You see his eyebrows right there? A lot of times people start their guideline and they end up being lower or higher on the other side. That's because they don't have like a certain reference to go by. So I like to use the guy's eyebrows. Makes it easy for me. That way when I get to the other side, we're perfectly at the same height. So let's start with the guideline. This is a wall senior. I like to use a 1 guard. I'm gonna go a little bit above the eyebrow. You see that? And the reason I like to use a 1 guard is because I don't like to put that real hard guideline all the way around like some other guys do. Because when it comes time to blending it, I could erase this line a lot easier than the ones that you see a lot of guys use, the T outliners or whatnot. I like to do it this way. So if you feel comfortable doing that way too, that's fine. But I'm just showing some of the techniques that I know throughout the years that make it a lot easier, more efficient for you. All right, we got this side of the guideline. And now, as I said earlier, if I start on one end and work my way all the way around, by the time I get to this side, I'm probably gonna be either too low or too high. So again, using my eyebrows as a reference, I know to go about 1 inch higher than my eyebrow here. So that's the guide. I'm gonna break it down step by step. Now I'm gonna put my guide back here. I could either go real high, perfectly leveled with this, or drop it down a little bit. So I've got 3 guides. I've got 1 here. I'll go all the way to the front here. 1 on this side, and 1 in the back. So now all I have to do is connect all 3 marks. Left, right, bring them in. All right, so we got our guideline done. So just to make sure, like I said earlier, we're at the same height on the left side of the head as the right side. So all we gotta do now is just look at them dead on. See that there? Right here. The guideline is very crucial to your fade, your blend, being perfectly at the same height all the way around. If your guideline's off, that's your foundation, then your fade's gonna be lopsided. So keep in mind, very important. All right, so we're gonna start the 1.5 on top. So we got our guideline. Now we've got the 1.5. I'm using the Oster 76er. 1.5 blade, I'm sorry, not a guard. There's a difference between the blade and the guard, believe me. The blade gives you a nice sharp cut, and it seems to take out more density, to be honest. All right, here we go. Just 1.5 all the way around here. Notice I'm not trying to go right under that guide. You can see a very faint line there. Like I said earlier, I like to do a soft guideline, and I'll show you why in a little bit here once we get to start the blending. All right, so we trimmed the top down. We got our nice faint little guideline all the way around. So now I've got the wall senior again, and we're gonna start the process of starting to blend. So remember earlier I said I like to use a soft line because it makes it easier to erase the line. A lot of guys struggle, they get a real sharp guide, and it goes time to blending and they still got all this little hard lines all the way around. So again, I'm starting now with my lever high, and I'm going slightly a little under, about 1/4 of an inch from my guide. Using about a 1/4 of the blade. I'm not using the whole blade because if I was to do that, I'm just creating lines. So keep in mind, anytime you're gonna do blending, any type of fading, you never wanna use the whole clipper. You never wanna do this. You want to use this portion of the blade. You see what I'm doing here? And I'm staying slightly a little under that line right there, under that guideline. I'm not creating any real strong weight line. So I'm gonna wrap it all the way around here. Be very systematic when you're doing your fade. What I mean systematic, I mean whatever I did here, I'm gonna wrap it all the way around. Because if I get to start cutting here and doing different things, I'm gonna get different results. So especially if you're a beginner, you're fresh out of school, or you're just starting school, or you just got a passion for cutting hair, get your little system down. Use my system. You could tweak it up a little bit yourself and make it your own, all right? All right, now I'm gonna bring my lever all the way in. See how I almost created, excuse me, a light little blend there? I've got my guideline here, and since I went with my open guard slightly under that, you could actually see a ladder effect, a fading effect already, right? So I'm just gonna continue that. Now I'm gonna go with my lever all the way closed in. And I'm gonna stay a little slightly lower than my other step I did earlier. All right, the next step would be, I'm gonna go even lower. The next step would be the 5-0, which is skin bald. All right, guys, you see on the bottom here, of course I'm using the whole blade here because my blend's up here. I don't need to worry about anything yet. So I could use the whole blade all through here, but as soon as I get close to this blending area, you'll notice me use about 1/8 of the blade. See that? Because if I was to use this whole thing, I'm probably gonna end up making another line. And we don't want that. We want a nice smooth blend. I'm gonna get my wall senior again, still focusing on the blend now. We got the bottom portion of the blend almost done. Now we're gonna do the top portion. So this is a number 1 guard. We're gonna go lever all the way in. And we're gonna start blending this little weight line here that you see, this little dark area here. Again, guys, always get in the habit of using about 1/8 of your guard or blade. You never want to use this whole thing unless you're just trying to take bulk off, unless you're just trying to take hair off. All right, guys, so as I said earlier, remember, systematic. So you saw me use the red guard here, the number 1. You saw how I'm blending the crown area here, so I gotta wrap it all the way around. You might see barbers that have been doing it for a long time, they'll get another guard and they'll just start erasing this blend here. I suggest you don't do that because that'll make your blend uneven all the way around. You might have a good looking blend, but you might have a lower blend on one side and a higher on the other. So that's what this whole video is about, teaching you the pro tips on how to get a nice even blend all the way around. So we started here, we're gonna wrap it all the way around. Always get used to that. All right, guys, now still with the wall senior. This is the, what is this number here? This is like the half guard. So it's between the 0 and the 1, right? So we used the 1 earlier, now we're using the half. And you see this nice little weight line? It's kind of soft, but it's there, it's really dark. We're gonna start erasing that line right there. Again, guys, whenever you're blending, you're using about 1/8 to 1/4 of the actual guard. All right, we're gonna wrap it all the way around here. All right, so now we're almost done with the blend. We're going to what I call the buffing stage. So pretty much we're just gonna buff out any little line or mark that you see that's a little dark. We want to smooth that out. So I'm just getting my wall senior again. All I'm gonna do is start with my guard, my lever all the way closed in. Again, using about 1/8 of the blade because I'm working this whole blended area here. See that there? Now I tweaked it a little higher up as I'm going higher on the blend. And you'll see me doing this all the way around the fade. Just kind of smoothing everything out now. See how much more easier that was to erase that guideline? All right, guys. So now we're gonna do the one of the most, well, every part's important, but this part can make or break the fade, the lineup, the edge up. So I'm gonna give you guys one of the pro tips here. This is the easiest way to do a lineup. First of all, you always want to start your guideline right here in the center of the forehead. The reason is because if you ever see a guy start on the left or right, it's not a bad thing. They've been doing it for a long time. So they know how to start at one end and get to the other side without looking lopsided. But I suggest you always start your guideline right here in the dead center. So I'm gonna do a little line, a little guide here. See that there? In order for me to get a straight line, it makes it easier for me to start in the middle and work my way out to the outside. Start in the middle, work right, start in the middle, work left. All right, I'm gonna work my way towards the right side. Before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and line this part up here, the sides here. And I'm gonna just go ahead and connect this middle with this side. Kind of merge it together here. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I showed you how to do a bald fade, nice clean from the beginning to the end. If you guys like this video, hit the like button. You already know, leave a comment. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. All right, guys, thank you.